You're listening to the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by Referral Mortgages and Blue Panda Realty, with your hosts, Paul Stevenson, David Warren, and Greg Campbell. Let's see what's going on in the world of real estate in our nation's capital.
Yes. We are back. It's the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. Welcome to all of our listeners, all of our viewers. My name is Paul Stevenson. I am one of the very proud owners of Referral Mortgages. I'm also a mortgage agent with Referral Mortgages. I'm joined, as always, by Greg Campbell. He's a partner and realtor at Blue Panda Realty. And my business partner, David Warren. He's also an owner and a mortgage agent at Referral Mortgages. Gentlemen, it's 2022. How we feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Feeling quiet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
open up. Spread the word.
I don't know where Greg's at.
I don't know.
Greg's
I don't know. No, I'm at the
college.
cottage. Like I told you guys, we had a lot of guests over the last couple of weeks, so we're just finally actually taking a break before we head back on Friday. But I've been working this week from here, so lots of action going on. What about you guys? How's the beginning of the year? How's the start to the year?
It's good. It's been holidays were good. I had first one with the newborn and kind of trying to figure out getting the start of January how to navigate a ridiculously heavy workload with a newborn and juggling that. And so that's been challenging on its own, but all good. Got out yesterday with Paul and his kids for some ODR out on the lake for some pond hockey.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been as soon as everything froze, we've been basically out there every day. We were out there Friday night, which was minus 30, and we lasted about 5 minutes. Went back Saturday, lasted maybe 2 hours, and then yesterday we were there most of the morning. But holidays were good on our end. I mean, we were basically hunkered down. Had a nice small dinner Christmas Day, and didn't do much for New Year's. Took it easy, relaxed, ready for 2022. I have to say, after last year felt like it flew by, like literally felt like it went by in a week looking back. And I felt like I was overwhelmed the whole year. So I'm making a point not to do that this year. I'm going to, I'm limiting the things I'm taking on, but I think going to put 100% into those things, and hopefully that'll, shift the results a bit. Not that last year was bad. Just shift.
He had some good results. He had good results last year. A lot of good.
Great results. But when you're running in the red all year, the engine's going to blow eventually. So I gotta sit. Sure. I gotta stay in the fast lane, but maybe not revving the engine the whole time.
We all do more exercise, more meditation, more calming environments.
No one took me up on that book, by the way. The book the 4 agreements, didn't get one message. I know. Terrible. Yeah, it's still open. I'll leave it open. That's one of my new rituals, Greg. Every morning, I've been actually very consistent on it. Just a quick 10-minute meditation every morning. Seems really minuscule. I'm 10 minutes, but I feel great. My days are better, slightly better,
Yeah.
Less stress.
If you do the 10-minute meditation and affirmations, that's it's pretty killer. Once you do that for 4 weeks back to back, you feel very charged up. Oh, I have one with thanks. I see. Look at this. At the cottage, we have coffee, and then your wife brings in another coffee.
Wow.
Thanks, Ben.
That's amazing.
The new mug to match the sweater.
Yeah, this is right. This is a nice one though. This is a Whitewater Brewing.
Blends right in.
See that? Whitewater Brewing. Great spot.
So speaking of charged up, gentlemen, and speaking of a great 2021, we as a unit are nominated for the Ottawa Awards for Top Podcast. So a huge thank you to our listeners and to whoever nominated us. I think that's it's a nice little honor. It feels really good to kind of be recognized for I guess the information we're putting out, really just having conversations, which, it's, I think that's what works for us is we just kind of show up and chat about what's going on. And I think that's resonates with people, but to anyone listening, thank you. And if you have a moment, please head over to Faces Magazine. I know Steven's got the link up there. We'll make sure to put the link into our bio, and you can go vote once a day up until January 31st. And then they're going to announce kind of who the top podcast is. Some of the names on there were pretty hilarious of the podcast. There was one, what was the name, Steven? Talk to the Mic. His name is Mike, and it's called Talk to the Mic. So
Pretty funny.
shout outs to Mike. Great name.
It was actually cool to see, because I looked at that list and I don't think I knew any of those shows, because I just don't, you know what I mean? I have what I listen to, and I don't specifically look for Ottawa podcasts. But now that I've seen that list, I'm going to go check all those guys out.
Yeah, I love it.
Guys, girls, theys.
The only one I did recognize is the Mark Mathot podcast. He's been doing a good job on that as well, kind of getting back into the hockey world. But we'll crush them. You listeners, you help us crush them.
What's it called?
That would be hilarious.
Methamphetamine or something like that?
No.
That's
Yeah, I was just
meth and also just a quick shout out as well. I have to say to our unbelievable team at Referral Mortgages, we were also nominated for Mortgage Brokerage of the Year, David and myself at Referral Mortgages. So really proud of that as well. Obviously 2021 was a massive year for us as far as, going as an independent brokerage. We had a great year of growth, and just a big thank you to our whole team, all of our agents, all of our staff. Everyone worked literally tirelessly last year, it felt like. Just a really, really nice honor again to be nominated as a Mortgage Brokerage of the Year in our first year as an independent brokerage. So couple wins.
Yeah, that's cool.
Couple wins to start the year.
So please, if you like us, please go vote for us.
And if you don't vote anywad, that would be, we'd appreciate it. But on that note,
Tell
moving
us why
forward,
you don't like us.
Yeah, put it in the comments. We, we're going to make a point this year to bring even better content, and we'd love it if you have a second to also just shoot us a message. Let us know if there's any guests, any owners, construction companies, any law firms, anyone that you want to see on here to kind of talk about their impact on the real estate market or what they're bringing to the table. MPs. We can try to get Mr. Trudeau on here potentially and have him talk about just inflation. But we can, I think it would be great to get our listeners to suggest guests, or suggest topics that you want to hear us talk about this year, and we'll make sure that we bring it to you. So let's get into it. Greg, Dave, what are you guys seeing right now in Ottawa, 2022? It's January 11th when this is released. What are we seeing? How's the year starting?
Greg was spouting off some numbers that were ridiculous.
Yeah. So there's as of last night, there was 1,550 listings on the market. 739 of those were rentals. So whatever that means, I don't know. To me, that means that we are way oversaturated with rentals, and the rental prices are going to have to drop. Seeing a lot of price reductions in rentals, that's for sure. So if you are looking for a rental property, I think you're in luck right now, depending on what and where. Obviously, the same thing as doing a purchase. But in terms of listings, they're slowly starting to come out. So I think out of the whatever the opposite of that number would be, 800 and something property listings, that those have all come out in the last 2 to 3 days. And most homes are starting, the offer presentations are pretty much starting today on most of the homes that have come out since the beginning of the year. So whatever happens this week is going to be something to see, and it's going to be important to look at these numbers to get an idea of where the market's heading. But it's like, it literally went from, we had nothing. We had no listings. Like the 1st of January, there was basically nothing on the market. And now all of a sudden there's, hundreds. So I think it's just going to be like what it was last year. After that one sale that I did in Orleans, the first week of January, that went through the roof, 30 offers, 150,000 over list. I mean, unfortunately, we could be looking at the same thing, because even my clients were out yesterday with with one of my buyer reps, Luca. And, everything that we're looking at, they got showings booked like crazy. All these properties, the buyers are out there.
You saw that. I sent you guys that Twitter post yesterday of the showing that had 200 people come through it.
I think that was in California or somewhere warm. That was a warm.
No, that was in Canada. That was in Canada, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, where
Yeah,
did
you can see
was that
you can see the snow.
Was that with Steve? Yeah, Steve
I've seen
Sareski, right?
There's a palm tree in the background. That's why. I thought that's the lawn.
No.
Oh, there is a
I think
palm
that's
tree, but there's
Vancouver.
snow.
There's a
Yeah, I
palm
think
tree
that's
to the
out
right.
west.
They
there.
would be West Coast.
West Coast. Either way,
But yeah, but
crazy.
that's kind of a weird. That's a weird comment because Steve Sareski, he's great, but he's like, for him to say it's time to raise the rates, like, it seems kind of odd.
Yeah.
Now, just to be clear, too, Greg is talking about people looking to rent a home, not rental properties, as in someone looking to buy an investment or something like that. I know we use the term kind of interchange, we interchange the term. So these are properties that if you're looking to rent a home, there are 700 plus listings out there of the 1,500 active listings by real estate agents.
And if you're looking to buy a home, strap your helmet on and get ready for battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it goes to show, like, that number of rentals shows us how many people bought investment properties last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or what else? Or they're converting their Airbnbs to regular rentals, like all those people suddenly for that reason. Like, I don't know.
I think some
Clearly,
of it
there
could
was
also
a lot of
coincide.
investments.
We also just started, we entered a lockdown right before Christmas. So it could be start of the new year that some people scrap their leases potentially. If they're schooling, I don't know if the universities or colleges went to online learning again for this second semester. So maybe those university students vacated. I don't know. But it is a huge flood. Be interested to know if anyone out there knows or has any theories on the reasoning. Please message us.
Greg, I mean, I think Greg's assessment is probably pretty accurate. I mean, there's been a big flood of money to the market in general, just from stimuluses and a bunch of other things. Like, the market has certainly been flooded with billions of dollars in the last couple of years. And, the people that have the ability to acquire real estate properties have certainly done that in the last couple of years. And like you said, Greg, I mean, if half of the listings are rentals, you have to assume those aren't people that are then going to be renting elsewhere. I mean, those are likely people that bought new properties that are now looking to rent them out, which is good for the rental market. As you said, it'll probably bring down those rental prices, but it's going to make buying a home even that much more unattainable in the short term.
Yeah.
As prices go up, right? Because it'll be even more competitive, as you said, Dave. And, you can begin to get your boxing gloves on, getting back in the ring, looking for, looking to win those competitive offers.
And the thing is, I was thinking about it this morning, saying, like, what is that? What is it going to look like? The price increase, if it is, like, say this one that we saw yesterday, it had, I mean, I think I saw 24 showings booked in the last 3 days. Now, let's say 5 to 10 of those people submit an offer. It's up to them to decide how high they want to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not up to anyone else but the buyer. Like, the buyers create the market. So I'm anxious to see, like, what these prices are going to be, because the list prices, I've noticed, are a little bit lower than what they were last year. I mean, we talked about that before, they were coming down, but I'm just anxious to see, like, how high these are going to go. Like, if it's a stacked town listed at 325, is that going to go up to 425?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of them listing at 399, which is, again, completely outlandish to me, but that's where we are.
I can definitely see not only a lack of supply driving up prices, like you said, but also in the news, all this constant talk about rates increasing. Fixed rates, bond rates have been coming up, so the fixed rates have been. Variable is still, your best bet, and it's exceptionally low. But the Bank of Canada will increase prime over the year, maybe 2-3 times. But a lot of people probably, I think, it will push them to buy before those rate increases as well. So you'll have, those people rushing to try and get, a property while they're lower, in combination with those lower listings. So it'll certainly be interesting over the next couple of months if we're repeating the exact same as last year, and what those buyers like.
Yeah.
And if those buyers that were sitting on the sidelines last few years that we kept saying, it's slower, you can get conditions, get back in the market. If those same people now come back to the market because it's busy and say, they're now interested again because they haven't wanted to over the last few months because it was slower for whatever reason. I I don't know. It'll be kind of a funny.
The big window, the big window. Torep said it. The big window last year was August through October.
Yeah.
Anyone that bought during that time got a better price. They got an offer with conditions, and that's the end of that. That ship, I think, has sailed. And we can all blame the government of Canada for all of this. So thanks for that, government of Canada. You do a great job at making our home prices increase because of things that you do and policies you put in place. You're awesome.
The GOC, they make us gawk. Hey. So Steve, if you can bring up that article that I sent you earlier today about the record high sales, I just want to read kind of the numbers that they had there, as well as the kind of opening paragraph where they talked about kind of national numbers. So it says the number of properties for sale continued to reach new lows in December across Canada's largest housing markets, causing home prices to remain at or near all-time highs. Average prices in Greater Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa ended 2021 between 18 and 24% higher than a year earlier. Meanwhile, home sales in Toronto and Vancouver were up 28 to 42% respectively, as new listings and inventory levels continued to decline. The number one story in Canadian housing remains the relentless decline in inventory in virtually every metro across this country. We're now below 100,000 listings, seasonally adjusted, it says. Blah, 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 blah. He estimates it's the lowest level for sale inventory in 30 years. We set a new record low for months of inventory at a mere 1.75 in November. He added this.
Just take a pause for a second there, Paul. Like, think about it. 100,000 listings across the country for a population of, 37 million?
Yeah, almost 40 million now, like 38, 39 million.
Maybe call it two people per household. We need 17.5 million homes to satisfy our population. And we're at 100,000 listings
available. Yeah.
That's not, and immigration hasn't fully come back either. Like, we haven't even opened up the border yet for immigration. Like,
immigration's going up, and they talked about it in an article the other day. They said they're trying 100%. To bring more immigrants to the country than ever. Yeah. It's like, what? Because they bring in the well-educated, good, and they're looking for the good jobs. And apparently we have them, but we don't have enough homes. So
and like 100,000 nationally, like that's including East Coast, like Central Canada, the prairies. That's absolutely bonkers.
It is pretty wild. And, but at least they're building 100,000 in the next 10 years, right? So we're going to be okay.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll help them.
In the next 4 years.
The next 4 years, sorry, 4 years. And then if you scroll down the Ottawa numbers specifically, it shows total 2021 sales was 20,302. So it was actually down 7% year over year from 2020. December sales in Ottawa, 862. So that was down 13% year over year and down 41% month over month. So November, December was also, seems like a pretty good, sales were down, right? Mm-hmm. Average price, single family detached, 709, 980. So 710 almost on the dot. That's up 18% year over year, down 1% month over month. And then new listings in December was 600. And that was down 15% year over year, 58% month over month. So numbers as far as sales and listings and everything are way down, it seems. And then I'll just read this last blurb. It says, December's resale market performed as it typically does, with a marked decrease in sales from November as families turn their attention towards a holiday break. Unfortunately for home buyers, the market will remain a seller's market for quite some time until our inventory issues are remedied. Welcome to January 2021. Inventory issues.
I'm going to kind of circle back again to put it in context even more so of that 100,000 listings. Like, looking at this article, Toronto in 2021 had 121,000 sales in Toronto alone in 2021. And we have 100,000 across the country.
Right.
Like, and but it's all just rate issue. It's all just rate issue. It's all just about the rates.
No, yeah.
Nothing else.
Like, nothing else.
Man. Now the good thing, and I know
I go ahead.
That was awesome. I know in like June to August of 2020, we were discussing on the show about converting the government buildings into condos and things like that. A year and a half worth of those renos, we would be sitting on, 25,000 units right now. Everyone's still at home, working from home. We're back in another lockdown. This all could have been done. Like this could have been literally remedied before the end of 2020. And we're here now, 2022, same problem, no shovels in the ground, huge lack of supply, rates still very low, inflation skyrocketing. Like, where are the solutions? Where are the solutions here?
We'll set up a couple panels. We'll investigate this another 5 to 10 years and decide whether to action it or not.
Yeah, exactly. When we have the money back from the other things that we spent money on that the taxpayers still haven't paid back, and we're just going to keep printing more cash. I don't know. None of it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's wild. This year, I think, I would imagine that, you talked about rates increasing, Dave. I think given the supply as we've seen, it's going to be between the supply and the inflation, it'll be interesting to see where rates go. I would imagine, like you said, I think 3 increases is probably fairly accurate, like 4 on the high end. But some people, as you said, are kind of suggesting somewhere between 8 and 10 increases, which would be one a month. Imagine just like quarter percent. I don't think we're quite there yet.
There's a reason why no one listens to those economists ever, or take their or have them on any legitimate panel of anything of any kind.
What'd you ask, Craig?
Did the stress test go up?
It went up about in 2021, beginning of or late 2020.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, it's marked right now at 5.25. They haven't adjusted it, but there is talk. They're talking about at end of last year of increasing that. So there is a possibility of that happening. When they brought in the stress test, so this is what rate you're qualifying for a mortgage against. We've talked about it before, but basically when you qualify for a mortgage, it's not at the rate at which you're getting. So if your rate is 2.79 on a 5-year fixed, you're not qualifying for that mortgage as if you're paying payments of on 2.79%. You're qualifying right now as if your mortgage rates or payments are at 5.25. They've pegged it at the 5.25. Before that, they were looking at the average 5-year posted rate across the big 6 banks. They've now adjusted that to like a pegged rate. Government Canada looked at increasing that again to make it harder to qualify for a mortgage. This isn't your actual payments. It's just basically inflating your payments on paper to make sure that people can afford that home should rates go up or should added expenses come in or anything like that. But there's been no change to that. I definitely see that happening as well. But certainly, like Paul said, the Bank of Canada will increase prime this year. There's been a lot of literature this past week out because the end of this month is when the Bank of Canada will set the tone for the rest of the year of when they're thinking they'll make increases and how they think how the year ended off for the economy. But also now the studies that they did in mid-December are now scrapped because Omicron came in, shut the economy down again. We've had all these cases, people not at work. And so they're basically having to redo those numbers. And it'll be interesting to see in 2 weeks when they have that policy press conference of how they actually foresee growth within the country. And obviously lockdowns like this are going to just exacerbate that supply issue supply chain issue across the board, which then increases inflation. So it'll be in 2 weeks. In the episode in 2 weeks, we'll have all of that. But I think that'll be indicative or give us an idea of prime.
Okay. And there you have it.
So wrap. And if anyone's really keen, I would go back and listen to the first show of 2021 and see how they compare as far as what we're spewing, because I feel like this feels almost like deja vu of as far as like where the climate of the market is currently. It feels very, very similar to last year. Now I was a little more stressed last year because I had a house listed at this exact moment last year, so I'm a little more cool and calm and collected this year. So.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get the same rise in home prices like we did last year and bidding wars, like Greg was saying, just for the sake of buyers. It's very stressful all around. it's not great for buyers. It's not good for anyone in the industry dealing with it. It's great for sellers, obviously, but yeah, hopefully we don't get to that point and some, cooler heads prevail or new listings come on or what have you. But yeah,
let's get land acquisition and development more attainable. Let's build some homes. Let's do some conversions of commercial to residential. Let's get our balanced market back. How about that?
Yeah.
Here.
Balanced market back.
Yeah. Balanced market.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I just got a call from some of the new builders the other day, and all the townhomes are starting at 700, right? Base.
In Orleans?
In anywhere. Barhaven,
Everywhere.
where did I see Barhaven, Orleans? So yeah, 700. They're like the base row homes, like not even end units starting at 700, with like a $5,000 design bonus.
And what about
Singles, depending on the build?
Yeah.
Depending on the builder, like anywhere from like 850 to $1.1 million, depending on the builder and what it is. Most of the ones that I'm seeing are like, closer to $1 million for a nice single family. The smaller ones, like you can get a small 3-bedroom single in the 8s, but again, like no upgrades or nothing like that.
Okay.
We were joking about this before we came on, not joking, but kind of laughing at the people that had put it together. But there was a study that was done recently, speaking of the $1 million homes, just to touch on it quickly, that they wanted to propose a new tax for homeowners that have properties valued at $1 million plus. I can't remember who exactly did the survey. I know I had sent it over to Steven. I don't know if he has it handy or not.
Generation Squeeze.
Generation Squeeze. Yeah, it was.
Like, what does that do?
Is the advocacy group that did it? Is the advocacy group that did it?
Oh,
It's not
okay.
the title of it. That's the advocacy group that did this report.
Generation Squeeze.
Generation Squeeze.
So they hate their parents, is what you're saying. Generation Squeeze. Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're trying to.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
A surtax on properties over $1 million, and I know $1 million is a lot. It even indicates that 13% of Ontario households would be affected, 21% in BC, and 9% across the country, and that's based on today's numbers, not including any sort of increase in values. It would have a huge impact, and land transfer tax and property taxes aren't sufficient enough. I think the answer in Canada seems to always be in every one of these articles is just increase taxes, tax more, tax something else, tax, just that's always going to be the solution. That's not going to drive prices down. People, it's the same as in Toronto when they brought in the double land transfer tax for non-residents. That didn't slow things down. People just ate it. People need to come up with better ideas and just increase taxes or tax new things.
I agree.
Anyway.
Yeah, because people will get upset eventually. Canada, that peaceful country, will eventually get upset.
Well, people just won't put money here.
Taxes constantly. Exactly.
People will move all of their money offshore to other countries or change their residence or stop investing in all manners, not just real estate, but also in all of our businesses, our industries, and they'll put that money elsewhere. Why would you want to? It's the reason why there's the countries that are forgiving for corporate taxes or things like that. They have booming economies across the board because it brings in outside investment or outside companies, and the economies flourish because of it. You actually do yourself a disservice by overtaxing. But anyways,
that's for
Mood
another
boost?
show.
that's a whole other episode.
Mood boost.
I'll leave it there. Taxes suck.
Yeah.
I got
Wait
three
for
mood
your
boosts today.
PowerPoint, Dave.
Yeah, Dave can do us a PowerPoint on why taxes suck. Just have the laser pointer go over it with all the.
Be a good one.
Yeah, I'm in next week. All right, I got 3 mood boosts today. I was saying to you guys before we came on here, my dad actually got me a mood boost calendar for Christmas. So every day I get fresh set of mood boosts. Anyone who follows me on social media has probably seen a few of these. So apologize if there's some redundancy. Number 1, a rabbit Used to come up to my front yard every day for food, but hasn't shown up in a week. Now it's just some bunny I used to know.
Yeah.
Number 2. A ship carrying red paint has collided with a ship carrying blue paint. Both crews are said to be marooned.
Wow.
And number 3, according to my kids, and this is true, talked to them before coming on here, doing their virtual learning today. Fun times in Ontario. Number 3, according to my kids, dad jokes are not cool for apparent reasons.
For those that didn't see the final episode of 2021, Paul's mood boosts were on point. I think it was 5 for 5 that were just like amazing. But thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
We didn't every time you do this,
And they weren't today.
Yeah, we didn't. You didn't start the year off on the strongest foot there, Paul. But
Well, these are just the last 3 days. These weren't curated. I'm just going with the daily Rolodex here.
You're doing the calendar.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
So again, I'm going to give a little call out to our listeners. If you're listening right now, make sure to subscribe for 1. 2, give us a little review. You know, we want to hear what you think about the show. And then lastly, if you want to shoot us a message, if there's any topics you want to hear, any questions you have, we're always open. As most of you know, when we get the questions, we certainly speak to them the following week. This episode is going to be released Tuesday morning. So every Tuesday, 10 a.m. shows will be available on every podcast platform, on YouTube, and wherever you listen to your shows. And just a quick shout out to our coffee sponsor as well, North Brew. If you go to northbrew.ca, use the promo code podcast, you're going to get 20% off every coffee order. And we will be back next week, every week. It's the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. Gentlemen, any closing remarks? You're back.
Nothing.
We got another year ahead of us.
Just to see what happens this week.
Go vote.
Yeah.
Go vote.
I'll be back in studio. I'll be in studio next week for once in like a month.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Coming back to Ottawa.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for the nomination, and thank you in advance for voting. And we will see you next week on the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. Deuces.
Later.
Deuces.
Bye.
The Ottawa Real Estate Podcast is brought to you by Referral Mortgages, Blue Panda Realty, and Stephen Hopkins Video. Thanks for tuning in, and please remember to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you.